As a general rule of thumb, I try to live by a very simple principle, and that is if you don't have something involved in a fight, don't get in the middle of it. I.e., when you see two people going at it, either in real life or on the internet, stay out of it. Or, as an old friend of mine from Texas used to say, it ain't my chicken, I ain't plucking it. By and large, that rule has served me well over the years. I have stayed out of a lot of scrapes. Okay, maybe discretion is the better part of valor, but like I said, if you don't have something in the fight, you don't need to be in the middle of it. However, recent events in the past 4 to 5 days on the internet have caused me and everybody else who values free speech to get involved in something that, although we didn't start it, we are going to be here to finish it. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to the electronic front porch and let's talk. For those of you who may not be familiar with what's going on out in social media content world over the past 4 or 5 days, right now there is a major, and I do mean major conflict going on between two principal individuals. The first one I will go ahead and introduce you to. Ladies and gentlemen, give me just one moment and I will introduce you to party number one, and that is an individual by the name of Eliza Bleu. Now, for those of you who may not be aware of Eliza, she is a human trafficking survivor advocate. She uses her voice to speak on behalf of individuals who are being trafficked. A lot of bad stories, a lot of bad experiences. There's a lot going on out in the world, and a lot of people don't like to look at it or even like to think that it's going on. Individuals like Eliza Bleu bring voice to those situations. She has been interviewed by any number of different people. Dr. Drew, Viva Fry and Barnes. She's been on the Chrissy Mayer podcast on a couple of occasions. She's been on Tim Pool. She's made the rounds on media and social media for that matter. She's been well known over the past 2 or 3 years. Her stock, or I should say, her level of attention is going higher and higher with every passing year. What she's doing is admirable. I mean, this is one of those situations that as I say, doesn't get a lot of voice, but should. There's a lot of nastiness in the world, and a lot of people who are trying to find their way back to the light, having come out of some very horrible situations. So, for what Eliza Blue's been doing in that regard, I stand up and I give her my applause. It's a it's a very difficult thing that she's doing, and she's also speaking from her own experiences. I'm going to quote from her website. ElizaBluePodcast.com. This is on the About page. Eliza Bleu is a human trafficking survivor advocate and a survivor herself. Keep those last three words in mind, because that is part of what goes to the heart of this controversy. The Eliza Bleu podcast dives into difficult but rewarding conversations about the trials and traumas people experience and the triumphs and healing possible. Finding ways to reduce the crime of human trafficking and help those affected requires looking at every angle. Survivors, abusers, law enforcement, legal teams, politicians, advocates, and influencers can all add a piece to the puzzle of creating solutions and raising awareness. As I say, very admirable work, very admirable goals. Now, give me just a second, and I'll introduce you to party number two of this controversy. And now we come to the second party in this titanic struggle, Brittany Venti. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with Brittany Venti, she is a social media content creator. She has been on the internet for quite some time. She is a young lady of remarkable poise and remarkable grit. As the old timers used to say, she's got sand in her craw. She is feisty, she is fierce, and tough as nails. Don't debate her, or let's put it another way, don't get on the wrong side of her in a debate. It's never a good idea. Now, having said that, I have never met either one of these young ladies in person. I just know them from their social media appearances. Although I will say, for the sake of full disclosure, I've seen Brittany Venti more than I've seen Eliza Bleu, but I have seen both of them. And if I also have to disclose, if I lean toward one side or the other, I give Brittany Venti a lot of credit. In the time that I've seen her, she's been very honest, very straightforward. She's, as I say, she's fierce in a debate, but she walks away from it, she can still be your friend. She has integrity. I've never seen a word uttered about her saying, "Hey, I don't think she's on the up and up." But that starts to be the problem between these two. And I'll explain that in just a moment. Now, I mentioned a moment ago, keep in mind the following words: is a survivor herself. Eliza Bleu, in interviews all over media, all over social media, has laid down a timeline that tells her story of human trafficking, her personal story of what she has gone through and what she has come out of to get to where she is right now. Okay, fine. That is where the controversy starts, or this controversy in particular. What happened was a third party came to Brittany Venti, presenting them with information that runs contrary to Eliza Blue's timeline, her own self story. Now, I know for a fact Eliza Blue and Brittany Venti have been on the same podcast together. They share the same passion on this subject of human trafficking. Okay. As I say, Brittany Venti can be very fierce. Eliza Blue can be very fierce on this subject. But there starts to become a question of credibility. Eliza's saying one thing, this person laying out this set of facts is showing her timeline, the story may not be everything that it appears to be. Now, the way that Eliza has her Twitter page set, and I'll show you this, the way she got this set up is you cannot direct message her. If you'll notice, there's nothing here that allows you on Twitter to send her a DM. Okay, fine. I can respect that. For various reasons. Maybe she doesn't want to be contacted that way. Maybe she wants to be contacted through her own website, etc. I can respect all of that. So, given that she can't speak directly in a direct message to Eliza Blue, Brittany, given the information that she's been presented by this third party, puts a Twitter thread out there and asks Eliza the following, and I'm going to let you read it for yourself. On January 19th, Brittany Venti writes the following: "Hey, Eliza, it's a sensitive topic. You don't have to go into detail about being trafficked, but I'm hoping you could clarify this thread. There's claims and videos in this thread that conflict with the timelines you gave and could distract from your anti-trafficking message. I know trafficking comes in a lot of forms, as we saw with Tate," referring to Andrew Tate, "and I'd like to know what up here as someone who is also very concerned on human rights." Now, let me say something before we go any further. As I said, Brittany Venti can be very fierce in a debate. She can be salty. Ladies and gentlemen, what I just read to you and what you just read for yourself is anything but salty. That was very respectful. That was very even keeled. She didn't attack. She didn't issue a slur. She didn't say anything else. She's just asking Eliza Blue, in the only way that she has available to her, to just say, "Hey, you're saying one thing. This person is showing me a set of facts that bring your timeline into question. Can you just clarify this? What's going on?" Now, as I said at the very beginning of this stream, you know, as a general rule of thumb, I don't get involved in a fight that I don't have any skin in the game. If it ain't my chicken, I ain't plucking it. What Eliza Blue did next in response to this is where I got dragged into it, and everybody else who cares about free speech got dragged into it. Hang on, we'll get to that in just a moment. Now, as I just indicated a moment ago, Brittany Venti asked a question of Eliza Blue on Twitter. She could not do so because of the fact that you cannot send Eliza Blue a direct message via Twitter. So she couldn't do this privately, but she did it on her timeline, on her Twitter page. And in not only asking the question, she did one more thing, and I want to show it to you. She put a screenshot of a YouTube video in that timeline, which is from a YouTube video called Eye Candy Eliza Knows. Now, let me back up and say something about the video. A couple of three things. Number one, This video has been up on YouTube for over 6 years. Number two, it is a public video. Anybody can see it. Number three, referring back to number two, it is not age restricted. Now, she asks some questions, says, "Hey, I've been given a set of information, about, your past. You say, here's your timeline, here's your history, here's your story. I'm being presented with a set of facts that are running in contradiction to this. Can you clarify it? I think you need to." And again, I'm sort of paraphrasing this loosely. "I think you need to, as I don't want to see this undercut your message about human trafficking." As I said, Brittany Venti and Eliza Bleu share the same passion on this subject. What did Eliza Bleu do? Well, yeah, let me show you. Oh, let me find it here real fast. Happened not pretty. Just hate it when I don't quite have everything the way I want it. And here it is. Sorry about that, folks. New YouTuber, still getting used to everything. Eliza didn't answer the question. Eliza went out of her way to get Brittany Venti blocked on Twitter. Yes, let me say that again. Brittany Venti asked her a question. Brittany Venti put a picture, a screenshot of a video that's been up on YouTube for 6 years. That is public. That is not age restricted. And said, "Hey, I just would like to have a question answered." Instead of answering the question, Eliza Bleu had her blocked. Now, there's a certain amount of controversy about how that actually went down. There is an individual named Amanda Jean, who is also on Twitter, who has some association with Eliza Bleu. And the question is, did Amanda Jean report Brittany Venti? How did this happen? But the upshot of it was Eliza Bleu got Brittany Venti blocked. I'm going to read directly from Eliza Bleu's Twitter page. "I'm going to address this issue one time and one time only. A non-consensual photo was posted of me yesterday on Twitter. The photo have been removed. The source of the photo has also been contacted, and I'm preparing to escalate to the full extent of the law. Twitter did an outstanding job, and they will be excluded from legal action." Whoa. "There won't be anyone else involved spared. I take things all the way, and I have no chill. I am a survivor advocate, and that doesn't stop with advocating for myself as a survivor. I'd encourage my enemies to study the law. I have been for many years. It might stop you from making rookie mistakes in the future." Now, having heard all this, you're probably looking at me going, "Okay, Front Porch, but what does this have to do with you?" What it has to do with me and what it has to do with everyone else is this. As opposed to explaining herself, which I think Eliza Bleu at this point owes it to a lot of people to explain this. As I said, I'm not necessarily looking for her to go into great detail about her experiences in the past as it relates to human trafficking of herself. That's painful. That's her past. I get it. I understand. But if you're going to sit there on the one hand and say, "I am a survivor of human trafficking, and these are my experiences. This is my timeline. These are the things I've gone through." And on the other hand, you've got an individual or individuals who are presenting facts about your past that run contrary to what you're telling everyone, and someone asks you about this, it seems to me you have an obligation, if for no other reason than to yourself, for the advocacy work that you're doing, to make sure that it's not undercut, as Brittany Venti indicated. It seems to me you have an obligation to explain this in some manner or fashion. Now, there's all kinds of ways this could work out. But the problem is, instead of explaining what happened, you or someone on your behalf went out of their way to get her blocked, to the point now Brittany Venti can't even use her Twitter page. And not just Brittany Venti. This didn't stop with her. Take a look at this. For those of you who know the name Jeremy Hamling, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about here in just a second. This is reporting this going back to Brittany Venti's original post as for a non-consensual image. You didn't have to post this screenshot, you salty hoe. Ooh, now we got name calling to go along with it. Not good. Now, Jeremy Hamling of the Quartering is a huge YouTuber. He's got multiple platforms on which he broadcasts. Very interesting young man. He went out of his way and commented on this, and he got blocked from his Twitter account. So it didn't just stop with a dispute between Eliza Bleu and Brittany Venti. It's now involving other people on social media. As I said, this started out as a dispute between two people, Eliza Bleu on one side, Brittany Venti on the other. Then it spilled over to Jeremy Hamling of the Quartering. Now it's spilling over everywhere else. Everybody in social media is talking about this. But you might be asking yourself, but Front Porch, again, what does this have to do with you? Why are you so bent out of shape about it? I'll tell you why. Couple of things. Number one, when Elon Musk got a hold of Twitter, Twitter was supposed to be a free speech platform again. He was going to be working to make sure that all voices could be heard, that everyone could have their say, that regardless of whatever opinion you may hold, so long as you met Twitter's basic terms of service, you could talk about anything. Now, he's had it for a few months right now. So I understand. He's still working through all that. I get it. That's the goal that Twitter is trying to achieve. But this one shouldn't be that hard to figure out. As I said, the screenshot that Brittany Venti posted is of a public video on YouTube. It's been out there for over 6 years. It is not age restricted. Eliza Blue's not even denying that that's her. I haven't heard her say one word about, oh, that's not me in the video, or, oh, that was done under different circumstances. She's not saying anything. Twitter should not have blocked Brittany Venti or the Quartering. All Brittany Venti did was ask a question. All she did was say, hey, here's some information I've been given. Can you explain this against, what you're saying is your own timeline, your own history, your own set of facts? All she did was ask a question. And for asking a question, she got her account blocked. Jeremy got his account blocked. Put it to you this way. If someone were asking questions about the COVID vaccine or the COVID-19 virus, and this was before Elon Musk got a hold of Twitter and they got their accounts blocked, I bet you and everybody else on the right would be saying something about it. But because this is a dispute between two young ladies and a gentleman, in this case, about a set of facts involving someone's past, no one's really saying that much about it yet. So there's my first problem with it. Twitter should never have blocked these accounts. Somebody should have looked at this and said, hey, you might be saying these are non-consensual, but, here are the facts behind the screenshot. I'm not so sure about that. Now, maybe over time this gets overturned. I hope it does. I hope Twitter does the right thing. But for right now, two individuals who are social media content creators can't use one of the tools available to them simply because an individual or someone on their behalf has gone out of their way to get them blocked from their Twitter accounts. This is not right. What does it have to do with me? Okay, it happened to Brittany Venti. It happened to Jeremy Hamling from the Quartering. It can happen to you. It can happen to me. It can happen to anybody. This is a free speech issue. Brittany Venti dared to ask a question. That's all she did. She dared to ask a question. And for asking a question of a person with connections to Twitter, and Eliza Bleu claims she's had a hand in helping Twitter get rid of some very serious CP issues on their platform, and her connections with Elon Musk, these two accounts got removed. Now, did Elon Musk say, oh, yeah, sure, Eliza, I'll do it for you? No, I don't think that was the case. But the system was gained to the benefit of one person and the detriment of two others. That's not right. All they did, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it to my dying breath until this is made right. Brittany Venti dared to ask a question. That's all she did. And for asking the question, her account was struck. Twitter support, do the right thing. Reinstate the account of Brittany Venti. Twitter support, do the right thing. Reinstate the account of the quartering. Now, I'm not going to tell you as the audience what to do. But if you really want to help out in this matter, if you want to help these two individuals, reach out on Twitter to Twitter support and Elon Musk. Tweet at him until somebody finally pays attention, because this needs to be made right. This wrong needs to be made right. But what do you think about it? Do me some favors as we wrap this thing up. If you like what we're talking about today, hit the thumbs up. You'd be surprised how that helps a growing little channel. Number two, if you think this video is important, please share it around to friends of yours. We're a growing little YouTube channel. We're on Rumble. We're on Odysee. We're on as many platforms as we can put ourselves on at this time. Number three, if you are not a subscriber to this channel, please do so. Right now, we are a going little concern. In the long run, we like to be a going big concern, but we can't do that without you. Thanks for stopping by the front porch. Good talking to you again, and I'll see you next time.